Well, there you go. Never let it be said that the favourites are dead certs for a tournament. France are on the way home. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transfer Bollocks Show. I am Adam Matic. Thanks for joining me. This video really is just putting it out there for you guys to comment later on, but I'm guessing there will be a few people in on the live section as well as we go through as well. It's sort of like a short little update video as to where United are right now, transfer-wise. Yes, certain players are coming home. Quite a lot, actually. A few United players now are pretty much already out of the Euros. What we're talking here, we've got Bruno. Pogba's on his way home. McTominay's already left. Dan James has already gone. Pretty much half the midfield that did go to the Euros, I'd say about 90% of them in our team that have gone to the Euros are pretty much back home or on the flight home at least. So who's left in the tournament for the Reds right now? Lindelof, Rashford, Shaw, Maguire, Sancho, if you want to count that one just yet. Well, looking at it there, Rashford's hardly played. Maguire's played one game. So really, in terms of burnout, they're not completely overrun or completely overworked. But tonight's a massive game for England. And we literally could only have, Victor Lindelof left in this competition after the game tonight. If it all goes wrong, which I hope it doesn't, I'm still clinging on to it coming home. Yes. Get it done, England. The favourites are out. I mean, that group of death, mentioned it last night, actually. The group of death at the start, Portugal, Germany, France. England beat Germany tonight, and that whole group is gone by the time the quarterfinals has actually come around. So, favourites, no, there is no such thing anymore. I looked at Croatia, who England beat, absolutely scaring Spain after death. I looked at Switzerland last night, never made, I think it was 1954 since they made an international tournament last 8, i.e. getting to the quarterfinals. That's mental. I don't even think they had that many teams in the competition back then, possibly 8 or something. So, yeah, the underdogs are fighting in this tournament. And what does that mean for United? Well, luckily, it means we get to rest Bruno. It means we get Pogba to get his feet up. It means the likes of Darlow can get sorted out early because he's back now from international duty. Can we get that sorted, done and dusted? Oh, I forgot one player. De Gea is still there with Spain. Dylan there just pointed that out to me. Yeah, if you want to count that, because he ain't getting in that team, is he? Let's be honest. 4 games in, not even an appearance. Simon looks like he's got that one nailed down. Also, with things happening in terms of all these teams coming out and players being sent back home, is the opportunity for United to possibly do some business. Will we? Can United get the job done? Varane, done and dusted now. No more international duties. He's going to go back. He's probably going to speak to Ancelotti. Will he sign that new deal for Real Madrid? My guess is more than likely he'll end up signing for Real Madrid. But in the case that there is possibly a deal to be made, has it just been made easier now by France being out of the competition? Well, for me, it's a no-brainer, innit? The only excuse that anyone was using for deals not being done, which was scandalous on itself, to be honest, was players being in the Euros, Copa America. I know we've still got Fred out there. I know we've got Cavani out there. But honestly, everyone else now, looking at that United squad, what we're looking at, apart from the England lads, nearly everyone is home. Nearly everyone is home. And the ones that are still out there in the Euros, I think there's Lindelof, who's only played every single game. Rashford's not started a game. Shaw started the last 2. Maguire started the last 1. Sancho can't get game time at all. Lindelof, like I said before, De Gea sat on the bench. He's rested up. Well, McTominay, James, Bruno, Darlow, Pogba, all home. Done and dusted, feet up, relaxing. So the squad really is looking for that start of the season. We might actually see some of these players jump into these pre-season friendlies now and actually we may actually get a squad that is fit and ready to start the season. Lo and behold, shock horror, United actually being prepared and ready for a start of a season. Well, there's no excuse now, is there? I mean, Lindelof, if he goes all the way, highly unlikely. Well, you just never know. I say unlikely, but Lindelof's probably got as good a chance of going to the final as any other United player right now. I mean, Sweden, Ukraine today. If Ukraine win, that's Lindelof home. If it all goes wrong for England, the only player left in the tournament is David De Gea. But let's be honest, we're not really that bothered about not starting the season because we've got Dean Henderson. So as bad as it sounds for our players and our home country, I fell off my chair then, our home country that we may be seeing a lot come home because we've not done so well, will it ultimately benefit us at the start of this season? Is it the silver lining that United fans were looking for? You know what, we may have been disappointed, but literally a week after that European Championship final is played, United have got a friendly against Rooney's Derby. So we're pre-season in pretty much. And it's good now, in a selfish way for United fans, that a few of these United players are actually back home, feet up and resting. So we may actually see them in some of these pre-season friendlies. Maybe the end of July, August 1 with Brentford and Everton. If we can get a few of these players back then we should be actually ready for the start of the season. And like I said, the players that we're looking at, look at the players now. So you've got Varane. He's home now. If he is a realistic target, and this is genuine interest from Manchester United, which from all accounts, it is genuine. And we're looking at, possibly 50, 60 million for Varane. Then you can actually look at it and go, right, okay, Varane's got his feet up. There's no reason why we can't just push forward now and get this deal done. I'm hearing all the stories that Sancho is the main priority and we want to get that done and dusted first. It's crap. We need to be looking at other deals as well. So if Sancho's not going or moving until the Euros is done, then let's just prioritise another sale. Because if that one's just on hold, and by all accounts, if fees agreed now with Sancho, it's just a case of breaking the payments down and how it's actually financed. So when it gets to that stage, which it never has been before, you kind of accept that this is actually going ahead now. So move off. Let's just move to Varane. And just doing something short there. And let's get another deal done. Let's do something that United don't usually do, which is two things at once. I think there's no excuse for Varane now if we are interested in him to get that deal done and dusted, because he's wanting to sort it out. He said himself he wants to sort everything out after the Euros is finished. That's done now. Let's go. Let's get this in the bag, and let's. I keep saying it, but let's be organised and ready for the start of a season. I know it seems absolutely ludicrous, but this is something that United have never been over the last few years. We've never been ready for a season. And yeah, you can say situations have dictated what's actually been going on. But honestly, right now, I don't think we've had a better chance. Ollie must be rubbing his hands together thinking, wow, the players that really needed resting are actually getting a rest. Because I'm not worried about De Gea. I'm not worried about Lindelof. Maguire missed the last month of the season. He's only played one game in this tournament. There's left? 4 possible games to go. Maguire, I'm not too fussed about. I think Maguire will come through okay, even if England go all the way. Sancho, it's quite clear, isn't going to start every single game. He's down the pecking order. Rashford, we all know he's got the injury. Maybe, I'm looking at it now. If Sancho does come in, maybe it is a good opportunity for Rashford to actually go and get that operation and put all these injury complaints to bed. For me, I think it's a no-brainer. But Varane, realistically now, what we're saying, is this a realistic target? Or are we getting Sergio Ramos Part 2? I've seen Rio Ferdinand talking about this the other day as well. I'm edging because I'm very sceptical when it comes to big name signings for Manchester United. And when Real Madrid are involved, I never get excited. Varane is ideal for us, I think. I don't think he was superb last night, but I've said this before and I've said it on other shows. Kimpembe, I do not rate, and he's absolute shocker of a centre-back partnership. I thought he was absolutely piss poor last night. And for me, I just feel like Varane needs a solid leader next to him as well. He's done well with Ramos next to him. I do feel like Maguire and Varane is an ideal partnership, to be honest. You've got the talker, you've got the captain in Maguire there, and you've got the pace and guile, the real Ferdinand type player in Varane. He's got two good defensive fullbacks either side of him. Yes, you could say not attacking the best, but in terms of defensively, I think that's something he hasn't always had at Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are very attack-minded fullbacks. I do feel like defensively, United, if they did go and get Varane, I think we've boxed that off. Wan-Bissaka is an issue going forward, but defensively, I think he can get better. Will he get better enough in time going forward? It's a massive, massive question. It's a big ask for Wan-Bissaka. And I can understand why we may be looking at another right back, but right now, that's not priority. Sancho, we know, is pretty much done. Varane would be massive. Let's see what we can then sell in this time that we've got, i.e. Lingard, Henderson or De Gea. Let's recoup some money and let's get that CDM in. Because we're talking about Ruben Neves the other day, and he's home as well now. He's not even kicked a ball hardly in these Euros. And he'd be another player to come straight in, perfect, ready to rock for the start of the season. He's set up perfectly now for Manchester United. I mean, there's rumours all over the place about who United are actually going for and whatnot. But I mean, I made a joke tweet about it all the other day, saying basically anyone who thinks they're in the know is just waiting for Fabrizio Romano to tweet something. Then they're just quoting his tweet saying that this is going ahead. No one really knows what's going on. Romano has got direct links to a lot of agents. I think we all know that. It's well documented. And he does get this news out before anybody else. How? I do not know. But he is just the guru when it comes to transfers. So this is all anyone is really doing. They're waiting on Romano to come out and say something. And then they're just picking up on it. But for me, United realistically, and I'll bring my man Keenan. He's just done his lunch break. Look at the man here. All ready to rock and roll. Keno, how's it going, mate?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm just plowing through what possibilities United have got now. A certain number of big teams are actually dropping out of the Euros, mate. But, I mean, for me last night, Pogba coming home, not a bad thing for us. Obviously, we got it for him. We want our players to do well, mate. But selfishly, we're all deep down thinking, yes, get in there. Feet up. Him, Bruno, Darlow, the latest ones. Tonight, we could have a full squad back, mate, if it all goes wrong. And I suppose, as an Irish fan, you're not really bothered, mate, are you? You're hoping that Sweden and England both go out tonight, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, look, the Man United, if you noticed, if anyone's been following United's social media in the last couple of days, they've been sending all their players best of luck messages before every single game. And all of the ones players have got eliminated from the Euros. What did United do this morning? Sent best of luck messages to Lindelof, Rashford, and Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw.
Oh, God. Did they not send one to Sancho, mate? No. Is that not done yet?
Well, not yet, but like...
Not yet. Well, to be honest, mate, I mean, the games last night were shocking, mate. Not in a bad way. They were absolutely brilliant watches as neutrals. I think the tournament came alive last night, but right now, I think nearly every United fan switched on a light bulb, switched on in their head last night. When Mbappe missed that penalty, they all thought, oh, wow. But honestly, what about Varane now? That's literally what every United fan was thinking, wasn't it? I mean, you yourself, he's a chance now, Keane, mate, for United to get this and put it to bed. If we get him or if we don't, let's get it done quick and let's move on. Let's not drag it out and not get someone and then use that excuse to say, well, we were trying again, like we always seem to do.
Yeah, like, look, I think when you actually look at this, ideally for Man United tonight, even though they have a lot of English contingent, right, in the England squad, ideally for United tonight, England get knocked out. And then they get Sancho done tomorrow. And then you can realistically announce that tomorrow. And then you can actually, go ahead and negotiate Varane. Because there's a clear price for Rafael Varane. It's 60 million. So the price is there. Like, his intent in terms of looking for a new challenge is there. So, well, supposedly, like, if you want to really test Varane's resolve in terms of is he Ramos and us, pay the fee to Madrid and then go into negotiations with the players and then with the player. And then you're at a point then whether does he want the club or not. Because I watched Paul Torres yesterday and, like, look, I seen his vulnerabilities yesterday in the short time he was on the pitch.
Yeah.
We're coming up against teams like Palace and stuff like that. He's going to struggle. Like, if we do get him, he's going to struggle. So I think for me, whether he's good in the ball, that's grand, but like, he's a Lindelof 2.0. Like, I think when I looked at him last night, I did see vulnerabilities. So like, for me, you go get Varane. I heard what you said just before I came on. Like, Varane and Maguire is literally like a Rio type Vidic type partnership. You have the destroyer, but then you have the Rolls Royce beside him. I think, again, not only what that deal does do, it allows Maguire to play right side of centre back. I think people don't realise that too. Like, Varane can play left side of centre back. So it provides balance. And like, he's a leader. Like, Varane, he's experienced. He's played at the highest level. Like, they complement each other's style so good. And I think people can talk about Maguire and his transfer fee, like £80 million. Like, that's all well and he's going to look like an 80 million defender, Harry Maguire. He's never going to look like an 80 million defender. But Varane will make him look like a very good defender. A very, very, very good defender.
It's complementing each other. The whole back line, it's like I always said with the goalkeeping situation, the whole back line it's a combination of five. The main three are your goalkeeper and your two centre-backs. That has to work. And it's why I was always shouting for Henderson. Because, yeah, there may be a mistake in every goalkeeper in the league. Every goalkeeper's had mistakes this season. But let's be honest, you cannot coach bravery into David De Gea. He's set in his ways. He's done. Dean Henderson will run through a brick wall for you. It's quite clear. Sometimes over the top, yeah, but that can be coached and calmed down. Goalkeeping techniques can be coached, but a player's mentality and a player's bravery and how much he will give, that can't be coached. And De Gea has never, ever given us that. He's never given us that balls on the line moment where he's willing to put everything he's got out there and take the hit. It's been quite clear through his whole career. Shot stopping, there's no one better, I don't think. Reaction-wise, the guy is up there with the best that there ever was. And I've always stated that. And I've also said, look, when it comes to it, I am willing to prioritise. If they want to keep De Gea, get the deal done and get Henderson sold. Let's make some money. Let's get the cash in place and let's go and get Varane. If we're saying that centre-back is the issue, not the goalkeeper, I'm still sceptical about that, mate. If they're saying that David De Gea isn't so much the issue, it's the centre-backs, then I'm looking at it going, okay, then. Why are we not getting this goalkeeping situation sorted? Because Henderson's back home now. Something can be sorted and done and dusted. You know what I mean? Varane is available right now. He's available. So let's get the Lingard situation, the Pereira, all these. Sorry, I think I went out then. Am I back? I hope I'm back anyway. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now, yeah.
Oh, I'm back, yeah.
I think he's gone.
I think I'm back, guys, but I do think that Manchester United are sabotaging my internet because I keep slagging them off so much. But Keane, where was I? I was just saying, why can't we just start making moves now? Well, we've actually got a little bit of time, and for once, United be ready for the season.
Yeah, look, I think, you look at Dean Henderson, I think that situation is a bit sticky. If you're going to make Henderson your number one, you have to sort out David De Gea. But I think logistically, Henderson's probably the easier one to sell. And you know that the way Ed Woodward thinks, he doesn't like doing hard deals. He doesn't do hard deals. And I think that's where I could see Dean Henderson going, which, look, financially, you'll get a good transfer fee for Dean Henderson. You're probably going to get north of 40 to 50 million because he's an English goalkeeper and they're a rare breed. I think you look at that, that's what you probably will get for him. If Ben White's going for 50 million, Dean Henderson has to be going for at least 50. Realistically, because he's an English goalkeeper, future English number one, you'd have to think that his transfer fee would be very big and there'd be teams out there who would buy him. But David De Gea, I've said this already, if he's not going to be the number one going forward and you can't get rid of him for a big fee, you do what you've done with Alexis Sanchez, because he was on massive wages just like De Gea is now. You loan him out for a year and you make sure, in that regard, you loan him out to a team where you kind of know he's going to A, perform, and B, be happy. And I think that's what United could do with this situation. Get De Gea off the books. If it means you get half his wages off the books for a year. And then you can sell him next summer. So I think there's a lot of players who are easier to get out, the likes of Matas, the Lingards, Pereiras. They're probably going to be easier to get out of the club this summer than David De Gea, on a permanent basis. So I think maybe even if you're looking for a loan deal and you loan him to a Roma or someone like that, someone who's looking for a goalkeeper or, one of the Spanish sides, I think you look at it and say, if you can't sell him, look for a loan deal with an obligation to buy, just like we did with Sanchez. Because you've seen how that worked out. Sanchez was happy in his new surroundings. He was willing to take a wage cut. If United play their cards right, they could do the exact same thing. Because I think, selling him this summer is a hard ask when you think about his age, his valuation, and his current wages. Whereas if you loan him out and he performs abroad, then he'd be happy where he is, and B, he'd probably be willing to take a wage cut because, again, he's getting first team football.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. It looks so easy and so simple to sort out, but again, we're dealing with Manchester United. They never really do the obvious stuff that we think about. We'll get names come out of nowhere, really. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't even be considering someone like a Ruben Neves. I don't know why we won't be sorting out this goalkeeping situation earlier. Why Lingard's contract situation, he's not been doing anything. Why that hasn't been settled is beyond me.
He's on holiday.
He's on holiday. He's living it up with Ashley Young and Anthony Martial over there. You know what I mean? I've seen the pictures of him and Januzaj and some other four United players, man. It's like that. It's like a reunion over there. But if he's comfortable going abroad knowing that Manchester United is going to be contract, then I'm worried, because that just means to me that United are probably just going to sign him up again to a new deal. We spoke about this on the podcast the other day. It just makes no sense to me, Jesse Lingard right now signing a new deal, because I understand if you wanted to get value for him, you obviously sign him up to a new deal, but that's when players are young and not playing in the team that much. Lingard's at his prime now, prime age. Let's just sell. Let's just say thanks for the service, Jesse, but I'll sign him up for a new deal now and then loan him out again. I just think it's going to jeopardise actually buying another player, because we're still going to have to pay towards them wages, and it's going to stop us ultimately and give United the excuse not to go out and buy someone else, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will come out and say, we've got Jesse Lingard signed up to a new deal. I think we all seen what he's capable of now. Let's see if he can break his way back into the team this season, which Ole won't even take. But to be honest, I'd look at Danny van der Beek and Juan Mata and say, well, boss, we're in front of Jesse Lingard. He's not been even at the club last season while we've been sat on the bench. So you've got a load of issues there that can be quashed, done and dusted if Jesse Lingard is sold on and it's put to bed. You got no argument in the squad. Let's get this one done. Let's move on to the next one. Let's get on to a matter. But Keane, absolutely nothing has been done. So not one bit of business, barring Bishop going out on loan to Mansfield, I think it is, has been done this summer so far. And for me, I don't think there's any excuse. And now that all these players are coming back, it's just piling the pressure on even more on United now. And you know what? Preseason is literally 2 weeks away, mate.
Yeah, like, look, I think you look at the Lingard situation, right? I'll throw this scenario to Adam. Let's say we do give him that 3-year contract, right? And he's on 130 grand a week, which is rumoured. And Ed Woodward's doing that to maintain resale value. You're not going to get any more than 30 million for Lingard, contract or no contract, because of his age. No club's going to pay that much for him. It's simply not going to happen. So I think you get rid of him now. Like, again, for his own sake, he needs first team football. He needs to be, in his prime years, like, he's after getting himself back into the England setup. So, like, I think for him, for his sake, he needs to go, whether it's abroad or whether West Ham come back in and maybe they have interest, or like, I think that needs to be sorted out. Like Tom Heaton, who was another deal that we've all kind of forgotten about.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he's going to be done on the 1st of July. Like, that's like Romano said that weeks ago. 1st of July, that's going to be like announced by the club. Sancho, but like, you look at the outgoings, they're probably just as important as the incomings at the minute, because we need to free up that wage bill. There's a lot of players there who are on significant wages that are stumbling blocks to bringing in some of these players. Like, I talk about Juan Mata a lot because he's on £160,000 a week, right? That's a lot of money for playing about 5 games a season, right? Really and truly, that's a lot of money. And not only that, the rumor now he's going to be staying for an extra year and he's going to retire after that, and he's getting his wages halved. That's fine, okay? You're going into the backroom staff role after that. Don't really care. But even his wages and him staying there are holding up youth players too. Like, even if we're bringing in, let's say, an extra midfielder, and that extra 60, 70 grand could go towards a Rice or Sikaria or whoever else, that's fine. But his spot in the squad is hindering players coming through. Like, Hannibal could be going on loan at Galatasaray because of Mata still being at the club, whereas we've seen when he played, he could have a squad role next season. Like Diallo, another player who's, like, Mata has taken a squad place from. Andres Pereira, like, he's coming back. Like, what's going to happen with him? He's going to be taking a squad place, and what's he on? I think he's on like 70 or 80 grand a week, if I'm not certain. Like, correct. Someone in the comments can look it up. I think he could be on that. There's players there on significant wages where it is taken up place in the squad, but it's also like the wage bill is really high. I think we have like one of the highest wage bills in Europe, if not the highest.
It is. So we're the 3rd highest paid team in world football. So
yes, so like, when you look at that, we need to cut that significantly to bring in more incomings. So I think you have to say players like Lingard, players like Pereira, Mata, who are on significant wages and who also aren't going to make a significant impact for the first team, you have to get rid. I think simply you have to get rid by any means necessary. Now, Lazio are interested with Pereira. There is interest there, but I think United wanted 27 million for him. That's ridiculous. He's not worth it. So, like, really, just cut your ties. Just cut ties by any means necessary. But again,
I mean, that's it, mate. There, you said it there. United's negotiating skills when it comes to outgoings is ridiculous. We know that. But another player that is coming home, mate, who would significantly up the wage bill if he signed a new deal, was Paul Pogba. But to be honest, mate, Paul Pogba probably doesn't deserve to be coming home, because I thought he's probably been exceptional this tournament. I think he's been France's best player by a mile. Yeah. Him and Kante in the middle have been standout for France.
30 games unbeaten. Before last night, Adam, 30 games unbeaten with the two of them playing in midfield.
Says it all. His passing has been off the scale. He ran the midfield against the bigger teams in the group. Last night, he was superb again. It's not his fault. Mbappe can't finish his dinner. It's not his fault that his defence was absolutely shocking. And to be honest, it's not his fault that France are losing defenders every single game in terms of injuries. So, unfortunately, it was one of them nights for Paul Pogba. But he's on his way home. That's good for us, mate. But ultimately, breaking everything down, he is a little bit of a problem right now for the football club, because you mentioned the wage bill. But watching him playing the Euros, mate, right now, if we can get that Pogba, he's putting pressure onto Ole, because everyone's seeing what this man can do and what he can really play like. And he comes to United and we don't see the consistency. There's pressure on Ole now. So that ultimately is going to then go towards upstairs. And this contract negotiation with Paul Pogba could end up taking over the bleeding summer, mate. And by the time it's all done and dusted, with the way United work, not being able to do two things at once, where are we going to end up by the start of the season? Why can't we get the deals sorted? Why are we not organised? It's important, mate, because we're heading towards the start of the season now. We're in July on Thursday. Do you know what I mean? July on Thursday. Our pre-season matches start very much in round about 2.5 weeks. So let's be fair. It's round the corner. Paul Pogba deal. Jesse Lingard. You mentioned Pereira there. Mata. De Gea. Henderson. Actually getting a player in Sancho that's taken over 2 years near enough. Mate, we're nowhere near ready. But I'm looking at the time and going, why? Why are we not ready? Because for me, I think Paul Pogba needs to sign a contract. I really do. I think he needs to be signed and put to bed, get it done and dusted, and then you're going to have to just go cut your cloth according, like you said then, mate. Start getting rid of the deadwood. The players that are on medium wages. Phil Jones would be the difference of Paul Pogba's new contract. Do you know what I mean?
Phil Jones on 75k a week.
There's Paul Pogba's increase. Get rid of Jones, who doesn't contribute at all. There's that wage off. Give that to Pogba. There you are. Well done. Finish your career at United. Let's see if we can get what you're showing for France in a United shirt now, mate. Does that not make common sense? To me, it's clear as day, mate. I don't know what and why this football club drags its heels with this crap average squad that we've got, because it's problematic to the players like Pogba, who in a way you could say don't deserve it in a United shirt, but right now he's at his career, he's got one more big contract. If in his head he's saying, right, that's it, I'm not going anywhere else now, this is me done for my career, he's only got one option, that's to go all in on United, mate. Surely.
I think United need to show a serious ambition for him to sign a contract, Adam, if I'd be honest. Raiola and his brothers, everyone else who are close to him are making it clear that he's not signing the contract. Like, I think United need to dip into the transfer window before he makes a commitment, which I think this window is so important. I don't think we'll see a Pogba new contract being announced until either A, the end of the window, or B, after it. It's not going to happen. Like, I think you said it there, Phil Jones, £75,000 a week. If you ever saw a case for money laundering, that's it right there. He does nothing and he gets paid 75 bags a week. Like, you look at Pogba, you can see how good he is as a footballer. He's the most talented midfield player in the world. Like, in terms of raw talent, he's there. He's top. He's top the food chain. But you need to have players around him to allow him to express himself. Like, it's clear as day. There's a reason why he plays better with France, because he's better players around him to do other jobs that he doesn't have to do. United get a defensive midfielder. That alone allows Pogba to go and do his own damage. Like, Pogba's, like, you look at his time at Man United, Adam. Look at his number 6 partners, right? And let's say in the time that Paul Pogba has been at the football club. Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Marwan Fellaini, Michael Carrick, which I'll get to that in a second. Herrera, McTominay, Fred, Pereira, right? They're all his midfield partners. Now you look at Pogba's best spells at the football club. Sorry, in the Man United as well. It's all when he's been given the free rein in midfield. When he came to the club in his first season, he had a very good high assist rate. He had Matic playing whole midfield and Herrera playing Carrick playing whole midfield and Herrera in the box-to-box role, and Pogba was given that free rein at the left side of a tree. You look at Pogba's best goal scoring season for United when he got 15 goals. He had Matic holding and Herrera in box-to-box, and he was allowed to float around. You look at Pogba of France, he's Kante there, and he does all the work that Herrera and Matic would do. And, he plays, again, box to box, and he floats around Griezmann in front of him, with Bruno could do that role. You look at this, if United get a CDM, it provides Pogba to do all of his best assets. Without a CDM, the amount of defensive work he has to do, you see it in our games. Like, he's more or less playing as a quarterback, trying to get us up the pitch, where he should be 10, 20 yards more ahead of the ball to get into them positions. I think you look at Pogba, he's been let down by recruitment at this football club massively in terms of the quality around the midfield. Like, I was listening to Gary Neville and Roy Keane last night, and I agree with them a lot with most of the United things when they talk about Man United. But last night, I completely disagreed. Like, Paul Pogba was probably the best player on the football pitch last night, and they're still criticising him. But, like, you look at Paul Pogba's partners at Man United, there's a reason why he doesn't play for United when he plays for France. Because the drop down in quality is astronomical. So, like, you can be a Rolls Royce, like, you can be that midfielder, but, like, if you have, average players around you in that position, you're not going to perform to the best of your ability. I think, and as you said, this is Paul Pogba's last big contract. Does he, in his last big contract, want to be playing alongside a Fred and McTominay, who are not guaranteed good defensive midfield partners, or can he go to a PSG and play alongside Marco Verratti, who's, again, one of the best players in the European Championships and is a fantastic midfielder? So, like, I think you look at Pogba, and this is his last contract. Man United need to show ambition, really and truly, for him to commit for his last big contract. And I think the way you do that is you sign a Varane, you sign Sancho, you get a defensive midfielder, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Rice. You can get a Zakaria, you can get, you can go abroad, get a Tonali, you can get someone like that who's good in that position to allow Pogba to go and express himself. But again, like, you talk about directors of football and all that. Like, we had Murtaugh and Fletcher were in place, was it February or March? We're now nearly in July, and there's still no significant movement. But again, I wouldn't blame them too much, because we all know who signs off in these deals. Joe Glazer and Ed Woodward, and look at their track record. So I think when you look at it, you have to say, if the football club don't pull their finger out their arse, Pogba's going to be gone on a free next summer. And after paying 89 million for him, after leaving going for free again, that's going to be embarrassing. And that's an example of Glazer-nomics, Adam.
Well, that there is going to be pretty much what every United fan is complaining about right now in terms of how the football club is being run, having no football people in position. I'll just bring up a few of the comments. Steven United says, why keep Pogba when he's not happy here and wants to go to Real Madrid, and Raiola making noise? Not good for the dressing room. By all accounts, the dressing room, mate, is all in love with Paul Pogba. So in terms of the dressing room, I don't think that's a problem. Real Madrid cannot afford Paul Pogba. And to be honest, Paul Pogba, with any sense, looking at that Madrid team right now and how aging and how poor it is, he's got no chance of winning any major trophies with Real Madrid right now. He's not going to win the Champions League with Real Madrid. It's as simple as that. I know it's an ask saying that about United, but honestly, I do feel like United have got a better chance to win the Champions League than Real Madrid have. I think our squad is a bit more settled, and yeah, we are poor in departments, but with the right signings, as someone like Keane just said, I do feel like Pogba's got a better chance at United than any other club, because he's not going to go to a City. I don't think he's going to go to PSG. I really don't. And that ultimately is the only two destinations.
And you look at Juventus, Adam.
Barca,
you look at Juventus. They're falling asunder as well. So, like, PSG is his probably only viable one, because they're after buying Donnarumma, Wijnaldum. Like, if they get Pogba in beside that, all of a sudden PSG are a different outfit, But again, you said it, Real Madrid, they're on the downturn. Barcelona are broke. That's not going to happen. Like, Man City's not going to happen. So this is United's best chance to tie him down, but we have to show ambition.
This is it. That, along with the right players going the opposite way, the right signings coming in, United are a different team this season. They really are. People say we are all too negative I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, guys, and say that we have got one of the best midfielders in the world. But it comes with the criticism that everyone wants to give Paul Pogba. I've criticised him performances, but this season's probably been his best season. I just feel like there's a lot more from Paul Pogba to come. And building a team around him that makes him pivotal, Bruno, there is a good spine at this football. Guys, before my internet completely flies on me, I'm just going to wrap up the video there. I just want to say cheers for Keane for jumping on again, mate. Cheers for that, pal. Obviously, you can catch Keane on the Weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast as well, on all his other socials. His tag is right there underneath him. Guys, the super chats and everyone in the comments, thanks for tuning in this lunchtime. I will get my internet back on track. I'm fully working like a nice oiled, I won't say a certain team at the moment because everyone's sort of hit and miss right now in the oil. So I'll just say a well-oiled machine anyway. But guys, again, thanks for tuning in. I will be back before the end of the week. Big shout out to the England boys tonight. I hope I'm not jinxing that like United do, like Keane said, but hopefully our boys do well tonight. We knock the Germans out. We move on to the quarterfinals. If not, then all the talk is going to be about United, and the pressure is going to be even more hyped up. Guys, get your comments in on this, on what you think about the Paul Pogba situation. Should we just go all in on Varane now? Comment when the video goes up on YouTube, guys. I will try and get back to as many as possible. It is difficult at the moment because there's so much, but I will try, obviously. But for now, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, this has been the Transfer Bollocks Show. And all that's left to say is enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we hear some news soon, transfer-wise this week. But until then, I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye for now.